next one is to set up our Apache config. Okay, so let's go to our Apache. EasyApache 4. Let's click on there. So by the way, guys, probably need to turn off this add-on here, because as you can see, since this server is only is a minimal resource server, I will need to uninstall the other ones, and probably disable the firewall as well, because it takes a lot of resources for this server, which is a small server just for this tutorial. So I'll probably uninstall this clump AV for cPanel for now, and so that we can continue later on for the other ones, how you can set it up. But as I've mentioned earlier, if you can install this premium license here for the Immunify, then this should be you don't have to actually install this one or enable this one. Even the firewall. But what I like about the CSF is that when it comes to a lot of it's in-depth, or it has advanced features that you can actually configure for your server when it comes to firewall or security, compared to just using Immunify 360. They do work together though, and I would recommend that you manage your firewall within the CSF, because when you're using Immunify, I'm not sure in the latest release, but I've had a lot of issues when I used to serve shared hosting before, or in the past. There's a lot of login issues. My customers gets blocked within their own server, their own websites, which is why, and also when I unblock their IPs, it doesn't work. So that's why I use the firewall along with the Immunify, and it is better. I can manage it easier, and there's a lot of tutorials as well when it comes to configurations. Let's say you want to configure it to a higher security or whatever there, because it's an old plugin. There's a lot, and it's also open source and of course free, and there's a lot of resources online how you can manage it. And it's rather than the Immunify, because although Immunify is really a user friendly, but when it comes to issues like what I encountered before, there's a lot of lock-ins. You can't really rely on it when it comes to firewall management. That's why I use the CSF. So as you can see, as I told you last time, this plugin here is too heavy. You have to have a server that has great resources, because as you can see, when we installed it, it went to 20 load, but when we uninstalled it, it went down as well. So now we can continue with, so we're done with this one. Lala, EasyApache, by the way, EasyApache 4. Okay, so let's go to EasyApache 4. So by the way guys, if you're this settings, I will show you how you can set up EasyApache 4, or probably just explain. It's already set up here, but I'll just explain you how you can manage this one as much as I can. And it's not really that important to set it up if you are using so if you are using Cloud Linux, there's a lot of modules that it will automatically be installed for you, and you don't have to actually set it up like how you will using cPanel only without Cloud Linux. Excuse me. So as you can see here, we already have current installed packages, and as the same as earlier, I will be providing a backup for the overall settings of the EasyApache section here, EasyApache 4. But just do know that that configuration settings is targeted, or is only applicable when you are using Cloud Linux. Okay, because I'm using Cloud Linux, and so my EasyApache 4 settings is applicable, or it is used for those using Cloud Linux. So they have also pre-configured, I believe they have pre-configurations. Oh, for the AWS, they don't have any pre-configured packages or backup files here for Cloud Linux, but they have several ones here, as you can see, for the what is this, Nginx, other ones I'm not sure, but ultimately in my own server, when I configure without Cloud Linux, I just use the default one here, the default for cPanel. I believe this is the one. It's already configured here. They are the same here. They just have probably back it up so that in case you customize it, you still have the default one. So I just provisioned that one, which is already, I believe, here. And what I do is that, of course, If there's any update, let's see again here. Later we will be restoring an EasyApache 4 settings based on Cloud Linux OS. So when we already convert our server to Cloud Linux or install Cloud Linux, then we will just restore the settings that I have in my server to make it easier for you. But in case you're not using Cloud Linux further, then this is what I would recommend you to do. So depending on your on whatever website that you are using, let's say for example, if you have a script that you need to have, let's say for example, they have a website and you always look for the requirements of that script. There should be a requirement section on their website, or maybe you can contact them. There should be a requirement about the hosting resources and extensions of PHP or whatever. Here you can find the PHP here on the extensions. As you can see here, the versions and the Apache modules. There should be if it's an important module, then you should be able to search it from here. So if they stated that it needs to enable this extension, then you can then enable it here. But if it's not, then you don't know anything about this, you have not read, or that it's not required, then don't have to update them. So usually in my experience, mostly let's say for WordPress, so these are this is the extension and version is what you go through all the time. So let's say for example, and for the script, let's say for example, if the script requires any specific version, let's say for example, let's go back here instead. Let's go back to the EasyApache Apache 4. Let's go back here and let me show you. So let's say this is the installed package, so the EasyApache 4, which contains Apache 2.4 and not sure what is this. The PHP version is installed here with a minimum of 7.4 PHP and the PHP 8.0 version. So let's say your script, you have a script and they require 7.2. So how do you install the 7.2? Go to the customize and go here, PHP versions, and you can find it here. Okay, so just find it here and apply the latest version. So let's say this one, this is the PHP 7.2. This is the short name of it. So you can just select this one, and let's say for example there's a lot of PHP 7.2 that is showing here. So just install the latest one. You should be able to check the latest one through this description here, because the latest one is incremented up. Let's say for example the latest one is this, and there's there's an older version which is 0. It's which has the same description, but instead of 1 it's 0. So you should be able to know that the updated one is this one, which has 1 here, which is incremented. So always install the latest version of this is the version, and this is probably the versions of this version. Okay, just let's just keep that as that way of thinking. So when let's say, for example, if you already installed this and your app still doesn't work, if they don't, you can also try to check on their support if what exactly the version they let's say, for example, if this doesn't work, and then just you can now install the older version, and then if still it doesn't work, the older version again, up to the first to the oldest version of PHP 7.2 version 7.2 version. So that's how you can actually find the version that you want to enable. So once you enable this, let's say, let me show you how you can do that. So let's install this one, because most of the scripts actually still supports 7.2, and then just click on that one. So if it's saying that 7.2 only, we want to actually also install the extensions, of course. So here, and but actually in my own server I have this actually also here, because there are some scripts, not WordPress, there's when you're serving shared hosting service, there's a few scripts that only supports this version, or it's probably stable with this PHP version. So in my old server, I used the minimum 5.6 version, 5.6 PHP 5.6 up to the latest one. So that's how you can do it, and then just click on next, or probably just go ahead here to review, and just there should be a button here which you can provision. So provision is to apply these changes, and before you actually click on the provision, make sure to save the profile or to back up your previous settings for the sake of security, or for the sake of in case there's any errors later on when you provision, then we can just restore back to the previous one. So that is an important practice you should always do. It's not just for this section, the EasyApache, but also for a lot of aspects. Let's say, for example, anything when you edit your website, make sure to back up your current version of that design before you edit it. Okay. So I'll just cancel that. I won't be installing those versions, since this is only a test server. But just keep that in mind, as I told earlier. And again, the same thing as the PHP version. Let's go ahead to the PHP extension. So mostly, let's say, for example, WordPress, there's a plugin you've installed in WordPress, and it requires some PHP extension that is not enabled in your default server EasyApache 4 setup. So you can search it here for the PHP version, and just the same thing earlier with the PHP version, enable it and then just provision it to. And also, as you can see here, there's a lot of this is the extension, I believe this is the name of the extension, and it is targeted, or it is built in, or it is integrated with specific PHP version. So make sure to know what PHP version you are using in your cPanel, and before you enable an extension here. Let's say, for example, if you're using PHP 7.4, and make sure to enable only the one that is PHP 7.4 version. Okay, so actually this is only for those extension that is not installed, but for those already installed, you can just enable it within your cPanel user. It should be there. You don't have to go here to enable it. This is only for installation purposes, to install the extensions and PHP versions, if I'm not mistaken. But there's also a way you can install it through SSH, but this is an easier way, which is why cPanel is the best. They have this section here so that you don't have to actually manually install it through SSH. And in case any error occurs, then you can just use SSH instead. So that's the purpose of SSH. So whatever is convenient to you, whatever method is convenient to you, then use it. Okay, so that's it. So this is the Ruby. If you want to if you will be using Ruby, then you can enable it here as well, and there's additional packages here. So as you can see, just try to check on this help link here to find more or to learn more about this section. So that's how you can manage actually EasyApache 4 in a basic perspective, or in a basic manner. And later on, when we install the Cloud Linux, we will be setting up an EasyApache which has settings that is applicable for Cloud Linux. Okay, because this cPanel default, the cPanel setup, some of the modules or whatever it is which is set up in the cPanel default, some of them are not actually compatible when using Cloud Linux. So we will have to disable some of the modules or whatever it is while you're installing Cloud Linux. But to make it simpler for us, for you, I will just give you as usual, the backup settings of my EasyApache 4 for Cloud Linux to make it easier, and then we will proceed on Cloud Linux later on when we're done with the other ones here. So now, here, as told earlier, um, when you're using cPanel, you just need to install the older versions up to 5.6 if you want to, and up to the latest one. But this is the default. It should be okay unless you need the older versions of PHP. Then you should be installing them as I've told earlier. So that's how you can do it.